You're listening to Mark of the Maker. Hey everybody, I'm Mark Steiner and you're listening to Mark of the Maker. This is episode 144 of the show, and this one, I'm going to call it a picks. Maybe it's topical. We'll figure that out in a couple minutes. We got a little bit of a short crew this week. We have Mr. Tom Crine.
Hey guys.
And we have Mr. Michael Birch.
Here.
All right. I think Tommy's going to lead us off on taking care of business up front.
Yeah. I want to give a huge shout out to our Patreon community. You guys are kind of the backbone of keeping us running. Doesn't take much. Just a little bit every month helps. We get, the whole army behind us instead of get all the people, right? Giving a little bit. If you guys want to help us move stuff around, support our show, check out our Patreon. If you go to our website, markofthemaker.com, right up at the top, there's a place where you can go to our Patreon. You can also donate there if you want. We appreciate you guys. You guys make it all possible.
Yeah, it's
absolutely.
You guys are a huge help.
Yep.
And we also, who we want to thank? Giant Mouse Knives, our good friends over there. You can check them out at giantmouse.com. And you guys are always talking about like folders, but I'm looking at this GM F1 XL fixed blade.
Good looking knife.
In green canvas. It is pretty quintessential mix of both of them right there.
Yeah.
Looks handy as hell. $245. It's pretty amazing. But then you guys were talking about that Ace Bleecker, and I was like, well, shit.
Yeah.
There's a lot to choose from.
One of those.
There is a lot to choose from over there.
Yeah. Good dudes, good designs, good knives. Just check them out.
Where do folks find them, Michael?
Giantmouse.com.
There you go. There you go. We also want to say big thanks to our friends at Arizona Custom Knives. We oftentimes talk about how many knives they... Wait. There's a message coming in.
Oh, shit.
Stand by, boys. Oh, I just... Hot off the presses. Arizona Custom Knives, we have an accurate total for once. It's not 40 million or 4 billion or 14,000. Currently, Arizona Custom Knives, as of today, we're recording this, is 16,521 items on their website. So Andrew told me how to find it, and there's your accurate total.
That's pretty wild.
We may have slightly oversold it previously, but it's a lot.
How would you know?
That is.
Well, we just told people how they would know, but maybe that was a mistake in retrospect, Tom. Guys, come on now. Let's not talk about, let's not point out the obvious. There's a ton of cool stuff up there. Michael pointed out this Anders Hagstrom Stag Hunter that is absolutely stunning. His work is so cool. Super organic look. Very 3D bolster on this thing. Gorgeous stag. Beautiful, beautiful piece. There's some old Randalls on here, some 1950s or the 1.8 from the 1950s. There's a Bob T Model 30 Battle Guard, which is a personal favorite of mine. John Barker Hokkaido. All kinds of cool stuff in there, man. So always awesome things. Go window shop and maybe even go out there and buy yourself something nice. You can use discount code !MarkOfTheMaker! To get free shipping if you do pick something out. And I got to say, there's some high-end, very expensive stuff in Arizona. And, man, it seems like every time we go poking around here, we go, there's a really cool piece for surprisingly short money, right? So there's some good deals out there, too, especially if you go start looking at old stuff or funky stuff, which can be really, really fun to collect, speaking a little bit from experiences of late. So don't be afraid to dig deep on Arizona's site. There's stuff in deep, dark corners over there worth pulling out.
Yeah. I had to go to page 331 to see what the last one is when you go to advanced search.
Oh.
And it's a Peter Atwood Prywood.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Check that out.
That's
I have no idea how they're sorted or whatever. That can't be,
Yeah.
the first one added, but
Right.
I had to look.
Had to look. Had to jump directly to the back.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, like I said, this thing's kind of a topical, kind of a picks. It's a little different. Michael, you want to explain what we're going to talk about?
Just what we're listening to in the shop right now. We, 90% of the stuff we do is kind of physical labor type rote memory things. So we listen to a lot of stuff in the books, or a lot of books in the shop, audible books or audio books, and takes up a lot of our time. So I figure we might as well just kind of talk about what we are listening to right now and what we have enjoyed in the past, and kind of just have fun with it. And of course, after this comes out, I want to hear what you guys are talking and listening to.
Yeah, that came up quickly when this topic was suggested, right? We want to hear what everybody else is listening to, because you always find something cool.
Yeah, I figure this one's kind of more for the knife makers, right? I mean, or everybody will enjoy it, I think, but so many of our listeners, I assume, are knife makers, and, maybe they'll pick up some stuff to listen to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing earlier today, Tom, and then I thought about me doing my long drive back and forth.
True.
When I have to go into the office, and I'm burning an hour plus of content each way.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been doing podcasts because I like podcasts, but audiobooks would be a good one, and I've just been trying to decide what to launch off into for that. But there's plenty of people that do long commutes, or they drive as part of their job, or our buddy Tom, who travels all over the country all the time, right? He's on airplanes and sitting in airports, and folks sitting on trains, you name it. So yeah, this really might be for more people than we realize. So
I learned a good lesson there, that I shouldn't be looking at Arizona while I'm trying to explain, the concept of this, because that came out all wrong. But I was just sitting there scrolling, looking at knives still like a dumbass.
yeah.
Yeah, I had to close out my window also. It's hard.
Not good at multitasking. I have it noted.
Not at all. Surprise.
Books and knife making, audiobooks and knife making. Yeah. Maybe not podcasting in Arizona at the same time.
Yeah. Well, maybe if I, wasn't listening to shit, I might be able to get stuff done faster too.
No, I don't think so. And for me personally, audiobooks keep me in the shop working. If I'm not listening to something that's like got my mind engaged, because my hands can work without really thinking about it, I find that I'm in the office searching stuff and not working. So I also find, like, if I'm shipping, I can't listen to audiobooks, right? I have to listen to music or something like that. But for 90% of what I'm doing in the shop, an audiobook is perfect. And I'm not looking for like intellectual like growth when I'm listening to stuff in the shop usually.
No, I don't want to be lectured about how I'm doing work improperly while I'm working.
Yeah.
So yeah, not a lot of self-help, not a lot of just all fiction.
Yeah, it's like, I think of it like junk food, right? It's just
sort of is. A good book is like, or a podcast or whatever, is like an anchor to kind of keep you stationary, keep you going, keep you doing like what you're working on. And like, exactly. I'm with you though. If it's kind of a shit book, you find yourself kind of being like, oh man, let me do this over here. And you're just kind of flitting around. I don't know. There's probably something about
engages your mind and lets your hands do what they do, right?
Uh-huh.
So, yeah.
Get you looking forward to some of the stuff that, quite frankly, can be sort of boring. Some of the stuff is just kind of over and over and over, hand rubbing and grinding, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Isn't the most exciting.
So interesting to think about the idea that something that holds your interest at the same time is the best thing to keep you on task.
It is.
Yeah.
It's kind of an interesting thing.
Yeah.
So how do you want to do this? You want to talk about some stuff we're listening to now and then maybe some all-time greats?
Sure. I want to know about, like, so you're very much an Audible person, right?
100%.
Okay. So for
Who
those,
should sponsor our show, by the way, for that exact reason. But go on.
yeah, for sure. Explain to the folks that don't have it what that is and how they listen.
So basically, I've been doing this a long time. I started buying books from like, Barnes and Noble and stuff, and it'd be like $40. I've got books in my bathroom. I've got like some storage in there, and there's audio books on tape.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, then it went to like CDs, but during that early time, there was actually a company called Books on Tape, and you could you basically subscribed, and they would send them to you. You'd listen to them, you send them back, right? And you could have like 2 out at a time or something. So then Audible came out, and I instantly signed up. It is fantastic, and I was going to pull up. So if it's basically it's a subscription, and now it's even better. They have a lot of books on there that are free to listen to. But basically, you subscribe, and you can get 1 book a month or 2 books a month, or you can actually buy. I think you can actually just buy them also. But I'm constantly buying more. And what's cool with Audible, if you look at your profile, it's kind of funny now. How long have you been a member? If you pull it up, Michael, does it say?
I don't know. Let me see.
So if you go down to the bottom and click on profile, it should pop all that up.
2018.
So I've been a member since 2009.
Woo.
I have 1,590 titles in my library.
That's a lot. I've got 420.
And if you go down to the bottom, you can also look at listen history. Well, actually, no, that's not what I want. It's listening stats, I think. They changed everything. But yeah, if you do listening time, you can do total. Now, mine's skewed a bit because Ben uses mine.
Mm-hmm.
And I think 1-2 other people use it. You can have a few people on, right? But total listening time is 36 months, 29 days, 22 hours, and 12 minutes.
That's wild to think about, isn't it?
Dude, it's crazy.
Days solid. No, 3 months? Is that, no, a month?
No.
36 days?
36 months.
36 months.
It's literally over
3 years straight of
years
audio.
straight listening. So, but yeah, well, I mean, you think about it, since 2009, that's quite a while, and we've got so many books that we listen to. So I think this is really a good thing. I highly recommend audio books, and especially Audible. So,
Well, and it's changed. Like there for a while, I didn't want to do audiobook because I used to read, and then I'd be like, an audiobook. And I listened to one. It was a Louis Lamar back in 2006 or something like that, or 2005. And it was horribly narrated. It was like, so-and-so did something, he said. And then so-and-so did something, she said. And I was like, this is the most annoying shit I've ever heard in my life. It about drove me crazy. And I didn't do them again for a bit until I started getting them from the library.
right.
I'd rent their CDs. So then I'd go home, put my CD thing in, and then put them onto it. Oh, iPod. Or I guess I didn't even have an iPod then. It was like a iRiver or some bullshit like that.
Right.
So I used to rent them from the library and put them on there, and that's how I used to listen for a long time. It took me a while to get to Audible, and I've actually been off Audible for a while now. I still have credits and stuff. I guess I'm not off it. I'm still using it, but not actively, because I've gone to Libby and it's been fantastic.
Really?
Yeah. Using the library, basically renting it, but renting it a digital copy is phenomenal. Because it got expensive. It really gets expensive to go through as many books as we do. So you download.
And I think that's why they have free books on Audible now.
But I couldn't keep up, and I guess if you want to try it, if you have like Spotify Premium, you can have like 10 hours. I think they have quite a few books too.
Yeah, Spotify
Yeah.
does. Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to try it, but I think you only get like 10 hours or it's a certain amount of months. So you got to be careful with what you pick and what you get because you might end up being pissed off when you got 1 hour left and you're cut off for a month. But
Right.
the
Why don't you
Libby
explain
app,
what Libby, how it's spelled, how people find it for folks who aren't familiar, because that's a little more off the beaten path than Audible.
it's basically LIBBY, basically stands for library. And you go to your local library, use your card, or if you already have a card, which you should anyway, by God, you put it in here and then you have access to their whole digital library, basically for free. The problem is, since they only have so many licenses per book, you have to manage like the wait list. So if there's a book that you want to listen to and it's very popular, it might be 6 weeks before the digital copy comes, and downloads, and you get it for 21 days or 14 days, depending on who it is, which isn't a big deal. By how we listen, you'll consume it in a couple days or whatever. So you kind of have to manage it better. There's no reviews on it. That part kind of sucks. So I'll go and look on Audible and see what maybe has good reviews, or basically I've also just joined Facebook groups that are, look for recommendations and just start looking. But it saved me a ton of money, and they've got, 99% of the stuff that Audible does. Some of the more far-reaching, weird, out there books they might not have, but I've really dug it.
Cool. Cool thing with Audible is they have pretty much everything. It's
they do
crazy, and they do their own stuff too.
Yeah, they'll do podcasts. They'll do. They had some great Audible special podcasts or like books, series. I guess serialized books that were really good, that were free. With Audible. So I don't know. There's other options, and if you don't have a good library system where you live, you go to the next county. You can pay them, and who doesn't want to pay a library? Anyway, and it's not that much money, and then you can get your library card from there, and rent and use their electronic system.
One of the things I really like on Audible is you can search by the narrator. And I think that's kind of where you were going with the Louis L'Amour book, because to me, the narrator makes everything. And a lot of the early ones sucked hard. But there's like people that's all they do now is they narrate books, and it seems like they kind of go in genres a little bit. So yeah, I really think that if you find a narrator that you like, check out some of the other stuff that they're doing.
Yeah, but also at the same time, I'm glad we're kind of like getting more and more narrators, because
yes,
for a while I was tired. I actually got tired of like Ray Porter and the guy that got popular.
Which he's fantastic, but yeah,
he's really good. But like, holy shit! And then every like sci-fi book after that had to have R.C. Bray because of his breakout with The Martian. Yeah. And it's like, okay,
that was a fantastic book.
Oh yeah, that is a must listen to if you're wanting to just dabble into the audiobooks.
I actually like Hail Mary a little better, but both fantastic.
Yeah, the movie coming out, I'm actually pretty excited about that one.
Yeah, the book was fantastic. I told my wife she had to read it. She's like, I don't really like sci-fi. She read it and she's like, that was fantastic. So
yeah, that one pops into like, there's a psychological thriller group that I just go look for recommendations, and that one even pops up in there quite a bit, but I like The Martian better.
Yeah, I liked them both. So, well, cool. What are you listening to now, Michael?
Well,
recently.
Yeah. So I guess when I was looking back on some of the stuff I've been listening to, I guess I've been kind of into my spooky season sort of books. And I end up finding out that a lot of these books that I've been listening to are dealing with actual like grief and stuff. which is kind of weird, but I guess that's, a lot of horror, I guess. A lot of that actually is dealing with, things that we don't want to deal with. But one that I just finished up that I was looking forward to was When the Wolf Comes Home by Nate Cassidy. And he wrote a really good kind of horror book called Mary, about a lady who was perimenopausal. She's having her hot flash. She's going through stuff, and she starts having these waking dreams of killing people, and then come to find out in her town there's these killings that are happening. And it's just, he's such a fantastic writer. Like, he writes like people talk. He doesn't try to act like they're better or different. It just, and his new one that came out, When the Wolf Comes Home, is basically about an actress who finds a runaway child, and they find out that the boy, this 5-year-old boy, can basically create reality with his fear. And it's kind of this chase of the father who is pursuing them, who's turned into like this nightmare creature. So there's a little bit of horror to it, a lot of grief. Her dealing with her own father issues, that are coinciding with this father that's chasing this literal, nightmare kid. And it's got some good twists at the end. It was pretty fantastic. I enjoyed it quite a bit.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah, add that to your list if you haven't already.
Yeah, I just did put it in my wish list. So,
say the name of it again and where you are listening to it from. Are you doing it through Libby?
Libby, but it's everywhere. When the Wolf Comes Home.
Yeah.
I found this one was kind of like people were either loved it or hated it, which is kind of his stuff. I don't know. I think it's not scary enough for some people, but also too scary for other people. If you're going into it thinking this is going to be horror, you're going to be like, oh, it's not that scary. But if you're just going into it like it's a good book, you'll be like, yeah, that was a good book.
Nice.
How about you? What was the last one you listened to?
So I'm kind of funny. I'm all over the place. I don't necessarily listen to a lot of horror. I do more sci-fi. I do fantasy. I don't know. I like Into the World stuff too, apocalyptic stuff. I don't know why. But the last series I listened to was recommended, and it was the Mad Mick series. And it was, apocalyptic, some kind of terrorist act happens and Into the World happens. The rest, it was interesting in a way because it was told a different way, right? Basically, America's down and the rest of the world is up and running, which is kind of novel. But yeah, this series, I enjoyed it. Like I said, it's junk food, right?
Yeah.
It's not intellectual reading. We'll talk about some of my favorites all time in a little bit, but I like series because sometimes it's hard to find the next book, right?
Yeah.
And if you get into a series that you like and can follow the characters, it just goes by fast. And this was a cool one because they had like box set volume, so you got like books 1 through 3 for 1 credit.
Yeah.
Books 4 through 6 for 1 credit, that kind of thing. And it, basically for a few credits, you got the whole series. And it was like, each book wasn't long, maybe 9 to 10 hours. And, you're looking at, 100 plus hours real quick for a couple credits, which is a good deal.
What was that called again?
It's called The Mad Mick. It's by Franklin Horton. And, it's just a different take on Into the World events.
Yeah, I know you've read this one too or listened to. The 1 second after, that was the one that got me. Like, fantastic. As far as like, of all the Into the World stuff that we've consumed, because we used to talk about these books a lot, but that one actually kind of like was eye-opening and like, fuck.
Well, it was very realistic. I think it was even like on the list for Senate members to read, I think, which I found interesting.
Yeah, it was fucking a little too fucking close. And you're like, oh shit.
Yeah, this one was interesting. Like I said, it was a different take. It was more realistic. I could see this one happening. Another one we kind of like, or at least I do, are zombie books. Like the Mark Tufo stuff, and then what was Adrian's Undead Diary. Those were good.
Oh yeah, they were.
Those were two fantastic series. And Mark Tufo, he's just funny. Everything he does is pretty good. Pretty humorous way of writing.
Yeah, those were fantastic. I just got. It was always kind of the same.
Yeah, for me, it's like for those, I don't think I finished either one of those, but the first 5 or 6 books are fantastic, and then I'd take a break and go back and listen and that kind of thing. But like I said, it's just entertainment. That's it.
Yeah. No, for sure. I think this is one I told you about that, and I think I may have posted about this in my Facebook group, but you have to read The Gone World by Tom Switterlich, SWETERLITSCH.
The Gone World.
Okay. This one is it's so hard to explain, but it was so riveting and it pulled you in. Like, it's kind of this genre bending, sort of high concept sci-fi, but also just an NCIS investigation. I mean, it starts off just trying to figure out who murdered this dude, but then we find out that, like, not only have they been moving into deep space, but they've been moving up and down the timeline. And they're trying to find this event that's happening. You know, it starts happening like 1,000 years down the road. You know, this end of the world,
Terminator.
Everything is gone, hellscape. But then every time they go and check it out, it keeps getting closer and closer and closer. And it's like Event Horizon meets like an NCIS, but not noir. It's crazy in this weird time loop of people screaming on a river of blood, and just, you're like, what in the hell is this? But it's just, it draws you in. You cannot escape. It's fantastic.
Yeah, that sounds pretty wild.
It really is.
I put it in my wish list.
Yeah, and it doesn't just kind of leave you hanging where you're like, oh, you're just kind of like, fuck, when it's over with. You're kind of like, who did what and why?
Yeah, that'll be interesting. I just started a new series today called Backyard Starship.
Backyard Starship.
Yeah, it's definitely sci-fi. And so far it starts pretty good, but what I like is there's like 20 or 20 plus books in the series. So I figure anytime there's like that many books, they're doing something right. And also I check the ratings, and if there's like 4 and 5 stars, I'm like, yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'll try that. So yeah, so far it's interesting. Starts out basically this dude goes home because his grandpa died, and his grandpa ends up being like have a starship in his barn, and yeah, he inherited it, and now he's a peacemaker.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll see. Did you listen to the Dungeon Crawler Carl series?
I was about to say, there's no way this isn't going to come up on our must listen to.
That was fantastic, man.
It's come up on multiple non-book episodes.
Yeah.
It is the dumbest and greatest series ever.
And it's totally engaging so far the entire way. And like, I tried to get my son Jake, he's coming in and doing like piecework.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, you got to listen to this. And he's like, it sounds dumb. I'm like, just listen to it. And he's like, one of the main characters is a cat. I'm like, yeah. Cat's awesome. Donut.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go.
Princess Donut.
What? Yeah. Princess
Donut.
And yeah, he loved it when he finally started listening to it. So
yeah, on the outset, when you're looking at it, you're like, that's really dumb. I can't remember who
sounds hokey.
Yeah. But I mean, we've listened to like lit RPG. It's kind of a newer type of thing.
I really like it. But this isn't really like that even.
No, it really isn't, but it still falls in that weird category.
Yeah.
That, oh shit, who kind of started that with there was a dude.
He Who Fights with Monsters, the Shirtaloon guy.
Yeah, that's another good one. Now, I'm trying to think of the guy back in the 80s who wrote about the D&D that, you know, you go in and they become, I guess, real.
I listened to that one too.
Silver something. Silver Hand or something, I think was the name of the book. But yeah, that's become an interesting genre. And if you want like a really rough version of that, what was the D&D one that was called something else? Oh shit.
Is it the one where they were like playing the game and they end up in the world?
Yeah, but it's real crude. And it's actually like a funny ass series.
You sent it to me and I can't remember what it is.
Shit.
Yeah.
Didn't think we're going to go down this path.
No. What's
We'll
the thing?
think-
We've listened to so many freaking
Yeah, that's
I was
the
going
problem.
to say 3 years worth of audiobooks and you're trying to pick some.
3.
Yeah, but that one comes up quite a bit. But the Dungeon Crawler Carl, yeah, we got to go back to that because it sounds dumb. This guy has the world ends around him. He gets thrown into basically a game that's set up that, and sometimes you feel like this is sort of Hunger Gamey, and sometimes you feel like it's sort of just off the wall, ridiculous absurdity.
Almost like
But
an
he's got a-
alien Running Man.
Yeah, that's kind of it. And his cat was who he helped, you know, he grabbed and ran in the thing. So the cat becomes sentient and starts talking. And we get it.
Yeah,
we
it's
know how he sounds.
aliens and evil and the resistance. It's freaking awesome.
But it has oddly touching moments, absolutely absurd, like funny moments. But you will be engaged and you will enjoy the shit out of these books. And there's a lot of them. Matt Dinneman is the writer, and the voice acting is fantastic. I mean, that's part of it, really.
Yeah, it's really good. Same genre. He Who Fights with Monsters by Shirtaloon is also, I think, is really good. Jason Asano, and yeah, those two are I think, two of the best in that genre.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I'm with you on that one. All right. So another one that I think is a recent one that was fantastic to me, Hex, especially if you're wanting to get in some spooky stuff. It's a Dutch book that got translated. It's Thomas Oldu Heuvelt. Heuvelt. And it's kind of this crazy premise of like there's this kind of haunted lady with stitches over her mouth who kind of shows up all over this town. She's been doing it since people have been there since the 1600s or something.
Yeah.
And they just know not to touch her, not to leave her be. And no one can really leave the town. If they do, they start feeling pretty rough, pretty bad. So they have to end up going to town. So you can't really, once you move there, you're pretty much stuck. You can go on vacation for a little bit, but that's it. And then some kids start doing some dumb shit, messing with the witch, so to speak, and things get real bad after that. A great little spooky book that I enjoyed quite a bit. But it's a single. Huh?
That stuff freaks me out.
Oh, it's good.
Yeah. I'll put it in my wish list also.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny. Up at the top, I see there's a recommendation by George R.R. Martin. Hate that dude. Anyways.
Why is that?
Because he never finished his story.
Well,
That's just like, what's his name?
Robert Jordan?
No. He died. I mean,
But technically he didn't finish the story.
right. But he died, left notes, and got Brandon Sanderson to do it.
You got a pretty good alibi for the whole not finishing thing.
Yeah, George
Excuse.
R.R. Martin, fantastic early books, and then just sold out and stopped. Just like Patrick, what's his name? Name of the Wind guy. I hate that guy too.
Rothfuss?
Yeah.
Whatever his name is.
Those are probably two or three of the best books ever. And then he just was like, meh, I'm not going to finish the story. I hate people like that. You know, It really, really makes me angry because Name of the Wind and The Wise Man's Fear, fantastic, but
yeah,
no closure. Same with George R.R. Martin. No closure.
Well, it's kind of like when you go to watch a show, you find it only had 3 seasons, it got canceled, or 2 seasons. I don't even watch it. I don't bother. But the problem is we listen to them or read them, and then we're excited, and then we find out it's not going to happen.
Well, and like you said with Robert Jordan, I mean, I was buying the books. This was before Audible, before audio. Yeah. I was buying the books as they came out. And then you find out he's going to die. But anyways, those are also that's another series that I would highly recommend, but took me 5 times to get through. I think the first books are fantastic, but the one where they're looking for the bowl of the wind really bogs down bad.
They get pretty disjointed. And I was with you. I read them when they came out, but then I would forget
and you'd have
what
to
happened.
Start over.
So I'd start over, read it again, and then I'd be like, shit. But oddly enough, for having Brandon Sanderson take over his books, he actually did some Conan books which was kind of crazy, which were really good.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Wheel of Time was awesome. The first several books are, like I said, fantastic. And I finally finished it all the way.
Yeah.
Which kind of made me sad. But I think they have to be on the list of things you have to listen to, or at least try to listen to. If you don't enjoy the first few books, I feel like, I don't know, the first few books are fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Oh, for sure.
And speaking of Brandon Sanderson, you know, we gotta mention the Mistborn saga. I think that's probably his best work. The Mistborn, the first 3, the trilogy, were, I think, pretty fantastic.
Did you know those were classified as young adult?
No, that's kind of crazy because they're pretty awesome.
No clue until I was telling Cullen about these, and he got real big into Sanderson.
Yeah.
And then we had to go find them, and they were in like young adult, whatever. And I looked at it, and I was like, holy shit. I had no idea.
No. I loved them.
Yeah.
The whole premise of different magic, you know, and burning elements and all that stuff. They're fantastic.
I started him on Steelheart, and which we both agree should be a movie. I don't know why it hasn't been already.
That's the
Reckoners.
Superheroes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Fantastic
but I guess with
series too.
Yeah, but probably with all the kind of superhero, you know,
right.
The Boys and Gen V or whatever, all that stuff, it probably may not have a hole anymore or a spot.
Right.
So, yeah, I'm going to carry on with some more books that fulfill your horror needs. This one might be a bit rough. Suffer the Children by Craig DeLuey. This one, it just kind of hurts your soul. But I don't know. I feel like I seek some of these books out that are just going to leave me with a big old gaping hole in my soul. But like one day, just all the children just die.
Did you listen?
And then
really depressing shit, man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's fucking, it's a beautifully written book. I would call it almost like speculative horror because it's I don't know. It's interesting. So all the children die, but then they have these mass graves, and then these kids come back to life, sort of. There's kind of They have no soul to them, no nothing. And kind of find out you have to feed them blood. Like actually take blood out of yourself, feed it to them, and they would be like, for a pint, they would be awake for like as themselves for like 3 hours. And as you can see how that would cause a problem about how much would you give, how much would you do.
What are you willing to do
as a parent to see your kids alive again? And of course, you know, what would you do to other people? What would you, and that's pretty much what it revolves around. Who would you turn into to see your kids alive for a minute? Because the more they do it, the less time they are awake or whatever.
Oh no.
It is just a soul wrenching, but beautiful story. Check it out if you want to be sad.
Oh yeah, it sounds lovely.
So I put that in Audible and I pulled it up, and you know, at the bottom they always have like listeners who picked this and all that kind of stuff, right? They have an article. It's a featured article. It's a top 100 horror books of all time.
Stuff for the children.
What's that?
Oh, yeah. That book is?
Well, it just under it. So like, they're like, oh, you like horror, right? So there's a featured article that you can click on, and it has a top 100 horror books of all time.
Hell yeah, man.
So I was just like, huh. Of course, World War Z is in there.
Of course. Fantastic.
Bram Stoker's Dracula. Here's one that I really liked. I'm pretty sure you probably listened to this. The Strain.
Oh, yeah.
Guillermo del Toro or whatever. Fantastic. Few books. There's a few books in that like, is it a trilogy, I think, maybe? Listened to all those several times. They're really good.
The TV series they made actually wasn't half bad. I don't remember
I didn't even see that.
But it was actually pretty well done. Another must. These are all just recent Blitzen weird shit. The Har, David Sodergren. This was fucking a lot of body horror. This kind of blob, amorphous blob comes out of this like Scottish fog to this like seaside village. It's Haar.
Yeah.
To this widower who lives in this tiny, tiny town. There's like no one in it anymore. All the like places are getting bought up by a developer. And this kind of blob sort of is more of a nature creature protector. There's all sorts of like pretty gross body horror, but it ends up being just a fantastic love story. You know, her love for her husband, and I don't know.
It's pretty.
It was a beautiful story, but yeah, it's pretty gross.
The horror book is a beautiful love story. I don't. Okay.
That man, they can be. They really. I don't know. I mean, I grew up doing a lot of horror. You know, all the Stephen King and Dean Koontz and all that weird shit growing up. And I don't know if you've revisited Stephen King like recently.
So like his old stuff or the new stuff?
His old stuff. His new stuff, he's kind of grown with his writing, but his old stuff, he's always been known to be kind of wordy. But I don't know if it's the sign of the times, kind of this impatience we have with long form. You know, we're shown things in 5-second clips and fucking, so when something takes a little longer to get to it, we're kind of like, oh, come on, let's get to the point. Or maybe it's because we already know the end of the story. You know, like I re-listened to The Long Walk and Cujo, and some of those, and I was kind of like, man, so he's taking a long way to get there.
Misery? I think Misery is one of his best pieces.
Mm-hmm.
I love that book. Also, Through the Eyes of the Dragon is another really good Stephen King book.
That was my very first Stephen King.
Very different from what he normally does.
Oh, for sure.
But really good.
The same was with the Fairy Tale. That I don't know if you listened to that one or not.
No.
It was the most un-Stephen King book I've ever listened to or read. It was very interesting. Very well done. A lot of his modern stuff has been, you can tell he's kind of dealing with his mortality, his own mortality in his writing. His protagonists are very old. They're dealing with it, so you can tell he's dealing with it, especially in like his, what is that series, Mr. Mercedes and all that kind of series he had going on.
I haven't listened to any of his more modern stuff, but yeah, back in the 80s, I listened to a lot of his stuff. I think what turned me off was the Tower series.
What?
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 Well, I really liked it. And then I was reading a thing where he was like, I could write on this story for the rest of my life and never finished it. And I was just like, well, that pisses me off. Because I know you're not going to write this story. I don't know if that makes sense, right? So it's like, why do I want to keep getting invested if I'm never going to finish the story and you're never going to finish the story?
So you never finished the Tower series?
No.
Holy shit.
I don't think he finished it. I think he
did.
He basically, yeah, he finished it, but I think he like just took the short, the end type thing. I don't know. I didn't finish it. It pissed me off.
It was a fantastic finish. That was going to be one of my recommendations for like all time. If you're like working up for a show that you got in 4 months or some shit and you got a lot of time, you start just listening, because that covers his lifetime. I mean, he literally puts himself into that book, like visits himself as he goes through some of these issues that he has or went through in his real life, through his like car wreck that he had or getting hit. I don't know.
Maybe I should go back, because I listened to, I loved the first book, and then I think I got into the second book and I read that, and it just kind of like turned me off on the series.
Oh, I love them. I think that's his greatest work.
I know the first book was awesome.
Yeah, but it's the problem with some of these like high expectation type of books like that is, or these sort of puzzle books or puzzle room. Sorry, like what did I say? Puzzle book? I meant puzzle box. I'm so sorry. Books and movies and stuff and shows, is that our expectations get higher than any writer can exceed. It's kind of like a perfect example is that like with Lost. You know, remember that TV show came out and it was such this, it was this massive puzzle box type of show where like you got a clue to that would say, okay, you're going to open this, but then that thing they open would be another clue, and that was every week. And this was like the same time when forums started getting big, and people were, we would all go the next day and look at like all these, like, what was that? You think, what did these numbers mean? What did that?
Right.
And I think that the watchers, whatever, the people that were watching the show were able to come up with much better theories than the writers were able to come up with for the original ending, because the expectations were so high that you're never going to be happy, and of course the ending did suck with that, but what else could they have done? That's sometimes the trouble with those types of books or media, I guess.
It's the catch-22 of developing an entire devoted fandom.
Yeah.
Around one storyline, right? Right.
You're not going to be able to outdo this thousands of devoted fans that are trying to come up with the theory, the answer to the question, that it's just one of you that came up with it originally. That's the problem.
Yeah. Right. I think the whole like Star Wars saga movie series thing has some of that, right? Where people have these expectations and then the movies get made.
Jar Jar Binks is really the Sith Lord.
It can't keep up with your expectation, right?
No. And I'm pissing people off there, but Star Wars was fantastic when it came out. I watched it, loved it too. But as far as sci-fi goes, it was okay,
Yeah, right.
For being part of our...
I'll even go further and piss people off. I think the best one is the one that's in between like 3 and 4, right? What's the one that just came out that's like the in-between one? It's not one of the trilogies.
Someone's screaming at their headphones right now.
I'm sure. May the 4th be with you.
Yeah.
I watched that first Andor series, whatever.
Yeah.
And I thought that was the best Star Wars thing ever done. I mean, it was like legitimate people trying to start a resistance, and it wasn't just thousands and thousands of stormtroopers. It was just, they would go to cities and towns and turn the people against each other, kind of like a tyranny would actually happen without having to have all the troops there and them trying to fight back in the little way that they could. I enjoyed that quite a bit. Had a real story to it.
I don't have a lot of audiobook stuff, but I have a few that are kind of in my queue that I got to pick one and start. One that someone suggested to me, I haven't listened to it, is a Stephen King thing that I thought was interesting because it seemed really different, called 11/22/63.
Oh, you will enjoy the shit out of that.
Yeah, JFK, time travel, alternate history kind of thing. That sounded really interesting to me. So, yeah, I look forward to checking it out. You listen to that?
Yeah, it's good. It's really good. And you'll actually learn quite a bit. Be like, holy shit. But I don't know. That was one of those kind of funky ones for him that you're kind of like, where did this come from?
Right. Yeah, non-typical Stephen King is what I at least gleaned from the little bit that I snipped at it.
It almost feels like those are the best. The non-typical Stephen Kings are his best. Like Misery seemed kind of out. I don't know. But yeah, that's
I don't
interesting.
know, man. Those 80s coke-fueled fucking fever dream ones were pretty fucking rad, man.
Yeah, agreed. The Shining and
It
was wild.
I'll never, I've told you the story of me reading that in a tree stand, right?
No.
I'm sure I've talked about that. I was reading that when I was a kid, and I was deer hunting. One of my favorite parts of deer hunting was getting to read. I wasn't doing chores at the time. It was like a break from farm life, basically. So I got to sit in this, sit up in a tree, listen to squirrels jumping around, and read a book. So I was
still
reading
do
it.
that.
What's that?
I still do that.
Well, hell yeah. So I was reading it, and then it started getting darker, and I was like, fuck. And I was like, I'm going to turn around. There's going to be, and I don't know how old I was. I was not old enough to be reading it. Like, I think a lot of us were probably as kids. And I was like, there's going to be a clown around this when I turn around. So then it kept getting darker, and I was just kind of stuck because I was like, I don't want to get down because you don't want to turn your back to anything. So finally, I just like, fuck it, and just kind of scrambled down and just kind of like did a very uncool kind of half jog out of the woods.
You're like, shit, it's chasing me.
Yeah. And that's where I think like, people talk about, give me the scare the shit out of you book that I can listen to. And I was like, it's not going to happen because nothing's going to compare to these books we read as a kid. That,
because you're when you afraid of the shadows in your room kind of shit.
Hell yeah. At one point I had to go turn the light off on the other side of the room, and I used to do the old turn off and just run and jump into the bed.
Yeah. Yep.
Nothing's going to compare to that.
Yeah.
We look for it. We search for it. I keep, when someone's like, this book was fucked up, I'm like, well, I'm adding that to my list.
Yeah.
I don't know. I got one here that I think you would enjoy until the very last minute. The Island, Adrian McKenty. Family takes a trip to Australia. They go to this island. Got kind of a clannish family on there, but there's supposed to be like some animals on there. So they go take a ferry and shit turns upside down. Kind of a fun little survival.
Who's it by?
Adrian McKenty, McKinty.
And it's called The Island.
The Island. There's only about 50 million books called The Island.
Yeah, I know.
And a pretty decent Michael Bay movie. He also wrote The Chain, which was a fantastic book about fucking, this lady finds out her kid has been stolen, and she gets a call and says, you have to steal a child and you'll get your child back.
Oh, wow.
Like, it's fucking good.
So I searched Adrian McKenty,
Mm-hmm.
and The Island is a featured listen.
Oh, does that mean free?
2022 thriller. But then he's also got a series that it looks like might be pretty good. I don't know. You said The Chain was good?
The Chain is the business. It's, yeah.
This is a new author for me, and he's relatively prolific, so I'm actually looking forward to that.
The Chain is kind of rough, though. I'll give you that. It's, once again, dealing with, children and a mom having to steal another child.
Yeah, that is kind of rough.
Mm-hmm.
So this made me think of another author, and I haven't listened to his stuff in a while. He's like from Sweden, maybe. They were police. I haven't thought of him in a while. What is his name? Do you remember what I'm talking about? It's a Swedish writer, I think.
They were police?
Yeah. He was a cop. I think they did some movies, right? With the chick on the motorcycle.
Oh,
The girl with the dragon tattoo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, what's his name?
Shit. Yeah, Google that up.
Stig Larsson.
Stag Larsson. I think he did like a whole bunch of books, didn't he, back in that
Yeah.
time?
There was this series, yeah.
Those
Yeah,
were
they
actually
were
really
good.
good.
Yeah,
There
they
was
were.
also- Yeah. Those were pretty fantastic.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to toss out one more, just one, my last modern one that I'll toss out that I think is a must read. And it's, again, super fucking weird. But also, like, it draws you in and you cannot leave it. Maeve Fly, Maeve Fly by C.J. Leede. And that's Leede. This book, Maeve Fly, it is absolutely chaotic. The book was heavily influenced by American Psycho.
The artwork is crazy.
Yeah. And I kept seeing this being recommended, and I was like, okay. And it's so damn crazy. It's like she is basically a Disney princess. She's the Frozen princess at Disney World. And she's just kind of this nihilist on this destructive path. And the thing is, like, she's kind of like this too cool girl, but it's hard. Sometimes it's hard to get into books or movies like that where someone's almost like too cool, kind of like where you're just kind of annoyed with them. They feel like they're not flawed, or the like, I'm built different type of attitude, but it comes across like pretentious and weird. But this one actually is so well done that you don't have that feeling. She's definitely off her rocker, and she reads like George Bataille and these weird 1920s, like nudie, weird, funky poems and short stories, but you're not like pissed off at her. But she is basically turns into a psychotic, crazy woman, and the path it's a fun listen. You don't really know what's going on. You don't know if she actually is, if she isn't. She meets someone that's like her, and it's like a fever dream.
One of the
but you really can't put it down. And Sosie Bacon, Kevin Bacon's daughter, does the reading of it, and she does just a great job of it. Like, it's one of those where the narrator almost makes the book. It's so well done.
One of the reviews says femme fatale meets psycho killer.
Pretty much. But it's a self-aware book. It's not kind of like American Psycho is like, people don't realize till later that it's making fun of itself. That's the whole point of the thing, is it's making fun of that attitude, that version of somebody and how they look upon themselves. They're complete, I don't know, the way they see themselves. And this kind of does the same thing. And you don't know if you're for her or against her.
Sounds like an interesting listen.
Oh, it was.
So what are some
Yeah.
what are some classic listens that you know stand out over all time?
Overall time, man, I don't even know where to start. I was going to say, like, as far as like series and stuff like that, like you were talking about you like space opera type stuff, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You listen to all the B.B. Larson, series, right? The Steel World. Those are, and like, if you want just kind of good,
Dust World.
good fun, good sci-fi without getting too dull. Because sometimes the space opera stuff feels like a drag when they're spending all their time explaining world building. You're like, all right, get the fuck on with the story. Those are great. But as far as like all times, man, I don't know.
It's been kind of fun. So for me, I've actually gone back and listened to some of the classics, some of the Robert Heinlein. I did Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy recently, and like some of the other stuff, right? Like, or not recently. I haven't done Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy recently, but I did it, a while back. I love the fact that you can go back and listen to this stuff. I've done Conan, I've done Starship Troopers. It's just kind of fun, right? It's like you can listen to some of the books that you didn't get to back in the day. What was the one I just listened to again? The movie sucked so hard. With Johnny, that it's
Johnny Mnemonic.
No, it's
Total Recall?
Johnny's the character, and he's like a human that basically gets Battleship Earth. That's it.
Oh,
that
shit.
was a
Yeah.
fantastic listen. The movie sucks so hard. If you never read the book, you wouldn't know. It's a great story. One of the series that is a standout for me, and this is by two authors that I really like, is the Prince Rogers series. So I don't know if you've listened to those.
Prince Rogers? I don't think so.
So it's March Up Country is the first one.
Oh, yes.
And it's John Ringo and David Weber.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a 4-book series. And it takes a second to get into the first book, right? Because it's like you're world building a little bit and setting the stage. But if you give it a try, it's a fantastic series.
Yes. I remember us getting into the John Ringo series that was like, wait a minute, where it took a left turn into Hornyville.
Yeah, that one, that is, which one is that?
Ghost.
Ghost is
Yeah.
what it starts with. I forget the name. The Aldra. No, that's the one where they're the maple syrup wars.
That was a strange one where we were talking to each other about that, and then it got real awkward even talking about it because it was
because it's like, but like if you like sci-fi, his the Legacy of the Aldenata is a pretty good.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's the Paladin of Shadows is the one where you're like, this is a little awkward.
Yeah,
cool story too, but yeah, let's not talk about that.
No.
David Weber did some really good sci-fi and some really good fantasy stuff. I recommend checking him out. Another series I like. Do you remember the Superpowereds?
Yes. What
by Drew
was
Hayes? That was a fantastic series, superhero type series. like
Forgot
4 or
all
5
about that.
books. They were fantastic. I got to mention Larry Correia. I love the Monster Hunter stuff.
Oh, yeah, that's one. That was fantastic. Like, he's still doing them too, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's a lot of spinoffs, but Larry Correia also does a lot of different, not just Monster Hunters, but he does like 4 or 5 different series. They're really good. The last one he did, let me pull it up because I really enjoyed it. And it was the first of a new series. Basically, it's like a mechanized warfare type thing.
Mm-hmm.
Where the souls, you get loaded into a mech armor type thing. I think Sean would like that. I don't even see it on here. He's got so many titles, but yeah, that's another one that I would recommend is Larry Correia as far as authors.
Mm-hmm. Some of the older Jonathan Mayberry, same sort of like kind of straight action, fun.
Yep. The early stuff was really good.
Yeah.
Like fantastic.
Yeah. I'd say definitely hit, you mentioned Heinlein. I would definitely go back and listen to Heinlein and all your Ray Bradbury's. And
yeah.
I mean, the classic sci-fi is so fucking prescient to like what is going on now that it's kind of creepy. Listen to Stranger in a Strange Land, which was basically a dude who gets put into a female's body and has to figure out how to, go around and figure out his own feelings, and how society takes it is kind of like interesting in today's world. Some of that shit's it's crazy.
Did you ever listen to any Jim Butcher stuff?
I got about 3 into his Fantasy Cowboy, whatever, and
the Dresden Files.
Dresden Files, yeah. And that was
I didn't really like
Get.
those.
They didn't do a ton for me either.
But his Codex Alera was actually really good.
Well,
and it was,
I'll have to check that out.
It was written on a bet. Like he couldn't put like Roman type era stuff with magic and something else. And he's like, oh yeah, I got this. And he ends up writing like a 5-book series. And it's actually pretty good. So if you are looking for something strange, check that out. It's pretty good. And then I have one more that I think is when I read it, it was a standalone. There's several now, but it was Ken Follett's Pillars of the Earth.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever read that?
Yeah, that was really good.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I would say, that stuff. If you like kind of sci-fi horror, hit Blake Crouch, right?
I don't know.
And Peter Klein's 14. If you want a little bit of cosmic horror with a little bit of just fun mystery, man, I think we can go for probably a couple days just talking about fucking shit we've listened to.
Yeah. Bernard Cornwell is another one if you like historic fiction, like Agincourt and some of that stuff. I really enjoyed his stuff.
Throwing back to some stuff that was on my parents' bookshelves there. Of course, I guess that's how I found the Stephen King too.
Yeah, my neither one of my parents was real big readers. Like, not at all. I've been a book. My brother's probably only read 10 books in his entire life.
I heard Birch say Louis L'Amour earlier. I'm like, damn.
The books were, some of those were
straight
good.
off.
So I'm
straight off of Dad's bookshelf.
Sitting in my office right now. If I turn around and look at the bookshelves behind me, I have every single Louis L'Amour book back there, leatherback.
Yeah.
And some of his books that were different were pretty fantastic too, like The Walking Drum and what was the one where the Native American guy ends up in Russia?
I don't know.
I don't know. Anyways, yeah, all those are really good too.
My dad loved the Westerns, man. He would read those Lou the Moore Westerns nonstop.
Are Westerns just not quite a thing anymore? Or, I mean, because that used to be like a big thing, like the Western books.
Last of the Breed is the one that I was thinking of. Louis the Moore. Yeah, I don't know. I don't feel like it is as big. Like if you're on Audible, like if you go into the browse area, there's not a Western.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, it's not a category anymore even?
I don't think so. I'm looking right now. I've not seen it, so no, I don't see it.
Yeah.
Sir, it's not a key category in Amazon for sure.
Yeah. But yeah. Yeah, we definitely could talk for a while on books.
Yeah, I used to do a ton of series, and now it's just shit that wants to hurt my soul. And I listened to one that was so rough that I'm not even going to talk about it on here.
Really?
Yeah, it's fucking... Ooh. Subject matter. It's one of those. So.
Oh, that's who I was thinking of earlier. It wasn't the girl with the dragon tattoo. All those are great. But I was thinking of Joe Nesbo. That was another author that I remembered reading, and I couldn't think of his name.
Were you thinking of the movie that sucked, The Snowman? Is that it?
I didn't ever watch that movie, but I read the book. His stuff, I really enjoyed his stuff. It was kind of dark a little bit, but you know, very realistic. So
yeah, I end up, that's kind of like my in between the really weird shit is kind of the psychological. You know, it's the murder, Karen Slaughter, fucking, you know, all that kind of funky shit.
Dude, the early Patterson stuff was so crazy. Do you remember that? The early stuff, like Kiss the Girls. I mean, that book freaked me out a little bit.
But yeah, that was your first kind of crime, really kind of, and now it's pretty tame stuff compared to what's out there.
Yeah,
it really Gillian Flynn stuff kind of like flipped the table on how rough some of that psychological thriller stuff can come.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're weird creatures, man.
Well, goes to the whole, everybody's got their thing.
Yeah.
Speaking of Gillian Flynn, Sharp Objects was a wild ride.
Yeah. That and the miniseries was fucking phenomenal. I think HBO did that one.
Yeah, I didn't see it, but yeah. Gone Girl.
Good Lord, that was crazy.
Dark Places, all those were pretty crazy.
Yeah, I ate those up. Those were fantastic.
Well, cool. I've got some stuff to listen to. Fun conversation.
Yeah, I don't know how interesting it may be to other people. This may be one of those lost episodes where people are like, what the fuck?
This is one of our self-help episodes.
Yeah.
It may be one of those episodes where people are like, we get a huge response.
It could be.
Yeah, definitely give us your
share what we need. Yeah. Share what you guys listen to.
I ain't going to listen to it.
Yeah, no self-help.
We're past that. Look like I'm trying to help myself.
Let's be real, people.
Yeah.
Let's be real. What about, we mentioned podcasts earlier. Like you said, Tom, podcast is kind of a weird one because we don't do politics here.
Yeah.
Sometimes podcasts are political, but Michael, you had a podcast that you really liked listening to for a while. Last Podcast on the Left, is that what you were into once upon a time?
Yeah.
Yeah, I listened to, man, I was really into crime, true crime stuff. But their version of it was so off the wall. I really enjoyed Last Podcast.
Yeah, it was pretty wild.
I would learn about cults and all the worst serial killers and stuff like that, but in a very humorous way that didn't feel like it was, you know, victim blaming or whatever. Yeah, they rode that balance, or still do, really well. But I can only I feel like I listened to every single version of it. Like Sword and Scale was like a kind of a darker version of that. I listened to a ton of it. one time I listened for like 3 months straight, and I was like, I gotta kind of change, because this is just the worst, like, true crime, horrific shit that happened out there, and be like, I gotta go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That can like start affecting your soul also, I feel like, but
Yeah.
some of that stuff is kind of wild, what's happened in the past. Yeah, I had a couple gun ones I listened to, and then they kind of just started sucking. So I don't know. I don't feel like there's a whole lot of gun knife genre that I find very interesting right now.
Yeah. I all of the serial podcasts,
Mm-hmm.
I've really enjoyed those.
Mm-hmm.
The New York Times serial series, I guess.
Yeah.
They kind of turned into their own thing. Those are all really good and interesting. I like stuff that's history, or I don't really do political podcasts. There's one that I used to listen to all the time called Common Sense with Dan Carlin.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
And he was like an independent guy,
Yeah.
which I thought was really interesting because he wasn't like on a side, right? And I thought it was fascinating. And then when the whole COVID thing happened, it sort of disappeared. And he put out 2 episodes in 2020 and then 1 episode in 2021, and he hasn't put one out since. But I always enjoyed his perspective, even if I didn't agree with it sometimes, but I liked that he made me think a little. But he also had a fantastic history podcast called Dan Carlin's Hardcore History, and those are outstanding. Man, he did a great job of doing stuff that we like digging into some of the details of, like, how did a Roman naval battle go, right? Like, he would get into all kinds of weird stuff. But I thought that whole string, and there's a good backlog of those you can go listen to, but that's an outstanding series of podcasts too.
Oh, hell yeah. Those god dang. Talking about history, that is like the best.
I think so too.
I don't know. There was a couple good ones I used to listen to, like, Our Fake History was a fun one, talking about some of the stuff they don't talk about at school.
Yeah.
But then my problem was I would listen to all this historical stuff that I love history.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't retain it. And
Yeah.
I'd be excited about it and be like, I learned some shit. I'm excited. And wait a minute, was it Göbekli Tepe? They did what? And what year was that?
Yes.
Absolute fascinating shit. But then I'd just be pissed off at myself.
Yeah.
So one of the authors that I really liked early on was Kenneth C. Davis. He did the Don't Know Much About series of stuff.
Yeah.
His books were really kind of fun that way, like learning fun things about geography or mythology or whatever, American presidents.
Yeah.
That's another one to check out.
Yeah.
Or like our alternate history stuff.
Alternate history thing is interesting too, right? Because it's sort of like, I don't know, just it's an interesting sort of
Turtle
approach.
Dove? Was that the guy that really made his living off that way back in the day? Henry Turtle Dove?
I don't know.
Used to do a ton of like alternative history. Like, what if so-and-so had done that, whatever.
Yeah. Right.
How the fuck I remember that? I don't know.
Yeah. Man in the High Castle type stuff.
Mm-hmm. But not as good.
Yeah.
Harry
Let's be
Turtle
honest.
Dove?
Yeah.
What was his name?
Was it Harry Turtle Dove?
Like H something.
Let's see. I just searched him. The man with the Iron Heart, Guns of the South.
Alternate history is what he like to call it.
There's, I think I mentioned on the show, maybe, I know I talked to Michael about it. And this may be just unique to my part of the country, but there's a fantastic history podcast called the Detroit History Podcast. Kind of straightforward name, but It's all kinds of really cool stories about Detroit and about the history of Detroit, from real far back through kind of the jazz era, civil rights era, Underground Railroad, because Detroit had a major role in the whole Underground Railroad thing. It's really, really interesting. They hit a bunch of sports stuff if you like Detroit sports. Some things around the auto industry that were really interesting in the union. But it's really well done. And the guy who narrates it is a guy named Tim Kiska, who was a Detroit newsman and professor and of history. And he's got a good voice for it. He's like a radio guy kind of voice. But there's some fascinating stories in there. And I think it's worth listening to, even as probably as a non-Detroit person, if you like history.
That's cool.
Yeah.
One I used
6 seasons of it.
I used to listen to a lot. Astonishing Legends. Really good.
Yeah.
They do pretty in-depth like research stuff. They did a great one on the Dyatlov Pass, Amelia Earhart, and they stayed up to, up on all the, new shit that came out, the Somerton Man mystery, all that kind of fun, funky shit.
Yeah. And our buddy Justin, who does Spycraft 101.
Oh, yeah.
Still listen to that a lot. That's a great podcast. Little history snippet thing, all in the espionage vein, right?
Mm-hmm.
It seems like he's got just that endless well of of guests and content. He really works hard on getting some interesting people on. I would say, I think if there's a downside to his shows, sometimes it's the guests are not always that interesting to listen to, but some of them are fantastic to listen to. So, but the stories are always super interesting.
Agree. Yeah.
Yeah. So go check out Justin Black's Spycraft 101. He's a buddy of ours.
Oh, shit. We talked a lot longer than I thought we would.
We thought this would be shorty.
It's supposed to be.
Yeah. All right. Anything else, boys, on things for your ear holes?
Think so.
I don't think I need to keep going, or I would just, everything we brought up another memory that brought up another one that was like, oh, yeah.
That's how it goes.
Yeah, I could talk books for a long time.
Yeah. It's funny because this came up as, I think Michael called it reading list or something. I'm like, you fuckers aren't reading anything.
Oh, yeah. Abby I can't say I read something. I have to say I listened to it. So I don't confuse people, make them think that I'm, can read
Literate.
with my eyes. I'm just so high class that I pay someone to read it to me.
That's right.
It's not like I can't read it.
You can't hide money, Birch.
Fuck, I bet I'd be asleep in 2 seconds if I tried to crack a book at night nowadays.
I've absolutely tried it. I have a ton of ebooks in Apple Books, just a freaking truckload. And they're all books that I really want to read. And I pick one. I'm like, okay, this is going to be really good. There's no way I'm going to fall asleep reading this. And I swear to God, 45 seconds later, I'm out like a light.
Put those in your ear holes, buddy.
Yeah, I guess
Only
that's
way.
what I got to do. I guess that's what I got to do. Well, on my list is that Stephen King's 11/22/63. I look forward to that. There's one I really want to check out because we heard some of this story told to us by a person in Chicago called The Devil in the White City.
That's
buddy.
Yeah.
The
H.H. Holmes,
right?
man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm interested to listen to that. My son recommended The Apollo Murders by Chris Hadfield. I got to go listen to that.
There was supposed to be a movie with
That's what he said. Yeah.
God damn, I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah.
I was even sadder to find out that the H.H. Holmes, some of that is pretty exaggerated.
Yeah.
Really? We were just talking about him like last week.
Yeah.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, me and Ben.
Yeah.
If you don't do the Devil in the White Sand, do listen to H.H. Holmes' last podcast on the left.
Yeah.
Pretty fucking cool. I mean,
Check that
not
out.
what he did, but
Yeah. Right.
that come out wrong.
Not what you're.
Yeah. And then I got one that someone recommended to me that is a book that Birch would not enjoy. It's not a knife maker podcast. Well, some knife makers, but called Range: Why Generalists Triumph in a Specialized World.
What was that boring
But
shit?
recommended that. Yeah, exactly. Me, boring shit. I really want to listen to that.
Productive and shit.
Fucking being a better person. Stupid shit.
Mm-mm.
All right. We want to say thank you to our friends on Patreon. We appreciate your support of the show. You guys keep us afloat for real. Also,
Thank you.
the guys from Giant Mouse and from Arizona Custom Knives, y'all rock. Thanks for sticking with us for a long, long time.
We love you long time.
We absolutely do. And you know what? The leaves are turning here in Michigan, man. I don't know if they are down you guys' way.
Same, yeah.
Starting to turn. I got leaves down in my yard. My maple out front turns this absolutely stunning, bright red in the fall, and it's starting. There's already leaves underneath it. So we're starting to wind our way through season 8. If we hit 10, I'll be amazed, but you never know.
Shit. Like one
I
of
know
those
it makes
passes
weird.
before then, or
Well, I don't know. You never know.
Okay, all right.
You know, asteroid hits the planet. You never know what's going to happen, man.
That's true.
Yeah, come on. You're a lot more doom oriented than that.
That's true.
All right. Thanks to all of our sponsors for our support, and huge thanks to our listeners for putting up with us. I don't know what the right way is to say it. For coming along with us on this whole thing.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm really looking forward to what they recommend.
Yeah. Give us your recommendations for sure. That's it. And we'll talk to you next time.
Thank you all.
Later.
To learn more about our makers, you can find Tom Crine in his Facebook group Crine Knives or on Instagram @Crine Knives. For Michael Birch, check birchtreeblades.com, Facebook group Birch Tree Blade Works, or Michael's Instagram @BirchtreeBlades. For my own projects, I'm on the web at raygundivision.com or check my personal Instagram @msteiner. For those interested in photos, references from the show, or discussion about the show itself, you can always find us on the web at markofthemaker.com, in a Facebook group called Mark of the Maker, or on our Instagram @markofthemaker. Last but not least, credit for the ultra cool and haunting background music we use for the show. This is a piece called Noir Guitar by Stevie's Amp Shack, found at the Free Music Archive and licensed under Creative Commons CC BY 4.0. And as always, thanks for listening.